Hey everyone, this is Dr. Drizzle coming to you from Pensacola Beach, Florida with STEMisode number 5, Fairy Tale Engineering and Other Literacy Night and Day Ideas. I hope you enjoy this. It's going to be about taking your favorite book and creating wonderful things with it. I will go ahead and start off saying that I may do things backwards, but that's just me. I encourage you to choose books first and then match standards. Depending on which classroom I'm in, which content area I'm working with, or which teacher I'm coaching, I like to tell them that their subject matter is the most important and that they possibly could teach all other content areas through that. And I say that because I love my teachers, but I also say that because it's really true. If you're a really good teacher and you know how to dig into standards, you should be able to find books that fit everything you need to teach. So choose your favorite book, maybe even something you're passionate about, match the standard, and then create a challenge. Now, every book has a problem to solve, and if you dig deep into it, you can find these problems and come up with an engineering challenge for students to work on. Once you've done that, your story basically begins there. I'm going to give you several resources that you can have. One of them is a book I wrote a few years ago called Fairy Tale Engineering. As you can see, there are quite a few stories in this book that have the engineering challenge already teased out. There are probably even better stuff now. If I rewrote this again, I might even go deeper, but it would at least give you a start on which kind of challenges you could pull out of here. Just for example, with Cinderella, I include a backstory and then a challenge with a few constraints and constructs and then a goal that you can use. Now, here's the other good thing. I enlisted so many of my friends from the Discovery Educator Network or the Den to tell the story and present the challenge from all different places in the world. So I'd like for you to listen to this one. It's pretty interesting from my friend Kim Miller. Really long lead into this. I was just learning how to use screencast.
Hi, my name is Kim Miller and I'm from Barbara Morgan STEM Academy in Meridian, Idaho. And today I am camping in the mountains of Idaho. I have a slight problem that I was hoping you could help me out with. Today as I was camping, I had to put my grill down by the creek. So all of my cooking is happening down there, but all of my supplies are up here. Now some of my supplies, like my frying pan, I could just toss down to my husband and it would probably be okay. But the rest of my breakfast, I don't really want to throw my eggs down there because I just have 2 eggs to eat for breakfast. So my problem that you can help me with today is how can I design a parachute to get my eggs safely down that 6-foot embankment so I don't have to keep walking up and down. Now I am camping, so I have pretty limited supplies. Your challenge is to be able to build a parachute for my egg to get safely down there using just 2 squares from a garbage can liner, a spool of thread, some tape, a pair of scissors, and a bag. Now the bag is to hold your egg because if my egg is in here, even if my egg splatters, I guess I could pick up the shells and eat scrambled eggs. So the bag is for your egg, the rest of it is to build your parachute. The other suggestions I want to give you is you might want to start with a rock or something like a hard golf ball before you get started with your eggs because I do only have 2 eggs. So thank you for helping me out. I hope you can build an awesome parachute to help me get my eggs down to my grill. Good luck!
So we hope that she got this egg, but we'll check and see a little bit later. All right, so the other activity that I've been using lately is called What's in Your Bag. So depending on what story you're reading, the kids brainstorm what type of bag this character would carry with them. They can draw it, they can build one, they can bring them from home. You can go to a local thrift shop and just purchase suitcases and bags and totes and fishing boxes and lunch boxes and let kids create the story within the particular bag or box that they have. I haven't got a lot of this happening right yet. I have a few schools working on it, so I hope to come back a little bit later and give you some photos of this, or if you have some great ideas of what they can put in their bags and boxes, let me know. Another thing that we're doing, especially is working well in the high schools, is to pretend that your character would have had a cell phone. Now this is extremely funny if you're talking about Pride and Prejudice or To Kill a Mockingbird or Macbeth. But even with characters from today, find the character that you want to choose and then find out what app would they have used. If they'd have chosen Netflix or Amazon Prime, what would have been their top 3 movies or TV shows they would have watched? Make sure that whatever you ask of them, that you give them the opportunity to explain it. If they were on YouTube, what videos would have amused them? If they were using social media and they were using Facebook, what does your character want to share about him or herself? Create at least 3 posts. Are they Instagram users? If they are, what would their captions be? If they were to go on Match.com, what would their character's dating profile look like? Think about the self-indulgences that we participate in now. What 3 items would be in their Amazon cart? Or what would their selfies look like? Or their Bitmojis? What game app would your character obsess over? This would be a great activity during the day to do with your kids, but also to include this in a family literacy night where they actually go up and put their character into these situations, or they turn themselves into that character and actually do photos and Instagram posts with them being that character. We also encourage you to use recent books. This great book, I've Fallen and I Can't Get Up, was a book we used in one of our elementary schools, and the challenge was a life alert. So, of course, Humpty Dumpty's fallen and we know the story, and they try and they try and they can't put him back together again. But if he'd had a life alert button, would he have been able to have contacted his friends quicker? Would the ambulance been able to get there? We're using batteries and LED bulbs and copper wiring to actually build the alert button for Humpty and possibly save his life and get him back together. Another one that we've just had a great time with is the Can You See Me challenge, and this is based on the great book called Dazzle Ships. So in the book, if you've read it, it talks about how they painted ships to stun or confuse the enemy. So students were building, dazzling, racing, recording, and analyzing the journey of their own boats, and then they will make connections to camouflage and the confusion that happened during World War I, II, and beyond. Love, 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 love Alan Gratz. We are using his book Refugee in middle school. Now, if you've read Refugee before, you know that there are stories within the story. So we had our students in McMurray Middle School, Nashville, Tennessee, choose things that were happening in the story as possible ways to solution or solve a problem. So they had to engineer and design a solution to different problems. These kids came up with better life jackets. They came up with being able to design a boat where more people could get into it. They also designed really cool backpacks or book bags that children could have if they had to run or escape, which then also brought up these really sad moments of why would kids have to do that? But really good engineering and design challenge. One graphic I do not have here that I think is really great is I love Rosie Revere Engineer, and I love all of her stuff. By the way, follow her on Twitter, because more likely than not, she will tweet you back. She'll like your stuff. She'll respond. She's a wonderful, wonderful author, so check her out. But we have been using her books to engineer and solve a problem. So coming up soon at Midland Elementary School in Floral, Arkansas, we will be having a fairy tale engineering night. Now, each grade level, K6, is going to choose a fairy tale to set up a booth for in the cafeteria. They are going to dress in the style of their fairy tale, and it could just be a subtle nod to the fairy tale or full out Seven Dwarfs kind of stuff. We will have a coding station so that kids can code B-bots and Ozobots to find their way in this fairy tale land. We will have a large map of the world up so we can sort of ping where these fairy tales take place. There will be a design challenge. There will be a large tree or PVC pipe or fence post at the door that will have signs on it that tells where these fairy tales are happening. We will include the science with it. Arkansas is a huge proponent of coding and civics, so we will make sure that we include geography. We're working with the counselor there to pull in character ed traits for each of these stories. There will be photo booths. We will have snack tables set up, so if we do Goldilocks and the Three Bears, there will be some snack there that represents that. And then we're just working really hard to build community. Now, this is K6, but at the 7-12 school, we're going to do the same thing, but we're choosing books that interest them. So they're not fairy tales per se, but they could be Harry Potter. They could be anything that kids are reading right now. We're going to dig into the books, pull out that engineering challenge, and have kids sort of look at what they could solve using that book and using all of these pieces here, the coding, the engineer, the literacy, the science. So I'm excited about this whole idea of using books to teach everything. So I'd love to hear what you think, what you're doing in the classroom that's working. If you're working on a family literacy night, contact me at Daisha92 on Twitter, so we can have a conversation about books and how they can make a difference in the lives of students and families. So thank you so much for listening to this. I would take you, I think I will, just so you can see a little bit where I am, and you might can see a little bit of the ocean. It's going to be a little loud out here, but just hang on. So this is where I get to live 60 days of the year in this beautiful, beautiful sugar sands of Pensacola Beach, Florida. This is the Gulf of Mexico. So I totally get inspired by this, and I hope that you were inspired a little bit today. Again, thank you so much. Tag me on Twitter at Daisha92. And I will see you in a couple weeks for our next STEMisode. Thanks so much and have a great day.